And some big news coming in. Ayodhya verdict tomorrow. Supreme Court bench to pronounce verdict at 10:30 a.m. Well, probably one of the biggest news breaks of the decade at least. Tomorrow, we will get to hear as to what the Supreme Court has decided on the Ayodhya verdict. What a big day it is going to be. 10:30 a.m. is when the Supreme Court bench will pronounce its verdict tomorrow. For more on this, I'm being joined in by my colleague Arun Sundaram on the phone line. Arun, again, we've been really waiting. We've spent quite a bit of time in journalism. What we really wanted is that this matter be closed at the earliest. And after decades of wait, finally we're getting to understand that tomorrow will be the big day. We'll get to know as to what the Supreme Court bench has decided on the Ayodhya matter at 10:30 a.m. What more details do you have for us?
Absolutely, Adarsh. Remember this, depending on how you look at it, there are different versions. Some saying that this matter has been hanging fire for the last several centuries. Some going by the number of decades for which the issue has been argued or it's being debated, etc. But whatever it be, it appears that finally there will be a finality. That is perhaps one issue. The other issue is what happens to the law and order. In fact, that assumes much more importance and significance for the simple reason that even the Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi, is seized of this matter. We're given to believe that he had a meeting with senior officials of the UP government, including the Chief Secretary and the Director General of Police, to figure out what will be the law and order situation. We don't want this. This has seen a considerable amount of angst being created in society, and the most important thing is, irrespective of what the verdict is, the matter is sub judice, so it's too premature for us to jump the gun. Irrespective of what the matter is, we will have to ensure that peace reigns supreme as far as civic society is concerned. There is no room whatsoever for any kind of violent display or move which could impact functioning of civic society, Adarsh.
Now, Arun, indeed, quite an eventful day tomorrow. You just spoke about peace and harmony that should be maintained, not just in Ayodhya but across the country. But again, there have been quite a few measures taken place that are in place. In fact, you were just mentioning about how CJI Ranjan Gogoi himself took stock of the situation in Ayodhya. He met the Chief Secretary and also the top police officials. That apart, you have the entire country really gearing up for the verdict. Yes, peace should be maintained, and you in fact have both sides appealing for peace and calm. But again, the gravity of this entire verdict is surpassing any imagination. So what else can we expect? Will there be some kind of a run-up to the verdict, and would we just hear at 10:30 a.m. as to what will happen? What more do you have for us on that, Arun?
Well, the run-up or anticipation is already there. Let's not delve into the issues. There are people. There is a group which is defending. There is a group which is against it. So let's not get into the nitty-gritties of it. But what we can do, or suffice to say, is the fact that this is high-profile issue. This is not something that can be swept under the carpet. The most important thing we will have to reiterate time and again, others, is the peace that is required. We've seen enough and more consternation take place in society because of various issues.
In fact, Arun, do stay with us because what a big day it is. We're in fact already getting reactions.
यहाँ इंसानियत का दौर है, ये साधु संत है, इनके यहाँ ना जात है, साधु संतों की जात नहीं होती, वो समाज देखते हैं, वो संदेश देते हैं कि अच्छा काम करो, यही इनका संदेश है। चोरी डकैती बेईमानी से इनके यहाँ मना किया था, इसलिए साधु बने हैं। ये गृहस्थों को शिक्षा देने के लिए साधु बने, इनके यहाँ जात नहीं लेते। आप अगर जात पूछेंगे तो हम उनके बगल में हिंदू मुसलमान आ गया। इनको हिंदू मुसलमान से मतलब नहीं है, केवल इनको एक संदेश देना है कि पूरी दुनिया हम साधु हैं, हमारा लगाव भगवान से है। तो ये केवल इंसानियत का पैगाम देने के लिए ये हमारे घर भी आते हैं, लोग यहाँ भी जाते हैं।
ये माना जाए कि आप जो इतना बड़ा पुराना जो ये फैसला है, इसका पटाक्षेप होने वाला है, उसकी घड़ी करीब में है, आप ये अपील देते हैं कि सब अच्छे से
देखिए, हम बिल्कुल शांति चाहते हैं। सरकार के कब्जे में है, कब जो है कमिश्नर रिसीवर है, रख रखाव सब बिल्कुल सरकार के हाथ में। जो कुछ भी होगा वो सब बेहतर होगा।
ये हमारे किए गए थे, बंद करो इसको।
वैसे बात करिए।
नहीं तो बात कर, नहीं तो
Well, that was Muslim litigant Iqbal Ansari right there reacting. Again, this is, he's reiterated his stand and that there should be peace and harmony that should be maintained, and that's the only desire, that's the only request that he himself is making. That was Iqbal Ansari right there, one of the litigants in the Ayodhya Ram Mandir dispute title case. 10:30 a.m. All eyes will be on the Supreme Court when we will get to hear as to what will be the mega Ayodhya verdict. We've been constantly speaking to you about the arrangements that are in place, not just in Ayodhya but across the country and also here in Bengaluru. The police is on standby. You have paramilitary forces in action. You have policing on social media as well. Everything seems to be in place. Ayodhya has quite literally turned into a fortress, as you can see to the left of your screens. All of this in the run-up to the mega Ayodhya verdict that will be pronounced tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. by the Supreme Court bench. Marathon hearings have taken place. Both the sides involved have put in hours and hours of research and arguing. And November 17th is when CJI Ranjan Gogoi would be retiring, and it was very clear that before that, the Ayodhya verdict would be out. And mark your dates, mark your calendar, November 9th is when the Ayodhya verdict will be out. The decades-old dispute will be settled. And whatever the outcome is, whatever the verdict is, right from the Prime Minister to the common man to the litigants themselves involved in the case, all of them have been appealing for peace, for calm, for harmony in the country post the Ayodhya verdict. And as responsible citizens, we must all come together to ensure that we welcome the verdict, whatever it may be, and it is for the best interests of the country. And we must ensure that we join hands and ensure that peace really reigns across the country. It will indeed be a busy night for quite a few, particularly in Uttar Pradesh, particularly in Ayodhya. Tomorrow is when we'll get to know as to what will really transpire.